Hi, Dr. Scott Jensen here. Over the last 3 years, we have together talked about a lot of issues. We have talked about masks and modeling. We have talked about lockdowns and social distancing. We have talked about vaccines and mandates. We have talked about parental rights and a whole lot of other things, including natural immunity, herd immunity, and what happened in nursing homes. Those issues will continue to be discussed, as well they should, but I need to sound the alarm. I read medical journals all the time, and 2 articles that had an odd connection over the last week came across my desk. First, Chris Mazzolini, editorial director of Medical Economics, has an article about a book written by Wendy Dean, a physician, who talks about physician moral injury. You might ask yourself, what does that mean? Dr. Wendy Dean says that moral injury is this sense of feeling as if you're betrayed by somebody in a position of authority in a high-stakes situation. And that situation causes you to transgress your deeply held moral beliefs and expectations. And in medicine, those beliefs and expectations are the oaths that we took to put our patients first. This is what's happening to physicians when we feel that people in authority who we thought had our back and were doing the right thing, that they controlled us and didn't perform. And that caused us to potentially compromise our commitment to our patients. That has happened across the land, across the globe. Let's turn to the second article. An article in Jazz Shaw called "The Medical Field is Erasing Its Own COVID-Era History." Here's what it says. Pfizer and the rest of the big pharma companies assured the government that everything was just fine with the vaccines because they had been doing super serious testing. And the government dutifully reported the cheerful news to us, while using all of that data to impose lockdowns, mask mandates, and immunity passport systems. And now, according to one group that tracks publications in scientific journals, a lot of the original research and test results are mysteriously disappearing. More than 300 papers and scientific articles have vanished in the past year. We have to be on red alert. What we're seeing is potentially substandard medical publications used to push forward, promote a narrative, and squash all other narratives. And now that some of the dust is settling, we're seeing these articles withdrawn, disappearing. You won't find them potentially on internet. This is problematic. We knew during the pandemic that several specific instances occurred where high-quality journals, such as Lancet, the New England Journal of Medicine, published articles that a short time later required a retraction or a revision or a redaction. We're seeing this happen in spades now. We're seeing 300 plus articles disappearing. And I think you and I both know why. In many situations, it was shoddy research. It was shoddy analysis. It wasn't peer-reviewed, or the conclusions drawn from the data were clearly spurious. And we asked the question, was this born of a nefarious agenda? My friends, I don't remember any time in my 40 years of medical history where in a short span of time, journal articles in the hundreds and hundreds were disappearing. This feels like people are covering their tracks, and we need to pay attention. When medical journals that were used at one time to push a narrative and squash another narrative are now disappearing, my profession has a big problem.